This is now the third day of my trip, and this video that I have here is one of my favorites of the trip that I took. I rented a motor scooter for the week, which I am so happy that I did. It gave me the entire island at my disposal to go any and everywhere, and I virtually did go everywhere. Both ends. It's an hour in one direction, an hour in the other direction. I went sideways. I could go to town whenever I wanted. I could go shopping for like water or soft drinks. Just had a great time with the scooter. I brought with me my GoPro camera. I assumed that the mounts that I had would work on the front of this scooter, but unfortunately they would not. So I've attached it to the back, which is kind of an interesting way of doing it. I would rather probably have it from the front, but I find this rear view to be very fun anyway. I'm heading into town. It's called Georgetown. I need to get some gas to fill up again, even though I hardly use up any, but I did a lot of traveling around yesterday, and I need to go to a store to buy some bottled water and some Coke Zero. I wanted to buy postcards and souvenirs, so I've got various errands to do in town, and having a scooter like this is fantastic. You might notice that in the Bahamas, which is part of the British Commonwealth, you drive on the left instead of the right. It took me a little while to get used to that, but I'm still alive, so didn't get crushed in a head-on collision, which is good. Over on the right is the a bunch of shacks, really, but it's one of the best places to eat in all of Exuma. They call it the Fish Fry. Individual enterprises open up around 6 p.m. and cook till late at night, and you can go there and eat, and it's a very good deal and extremely good food and a great way to see the locals. On a scooter like this, you have no idea who's behind you. I really couldn't see in the mirror, and the noise, the wind blowing by my ears with the helmet on really didn't indicate much to me whether there were cars behind me or not. Only when they passed me did I have an idea they're even there. I kind of had the idea that I was being passed by everybody, but watching this recording, I got to learn that that wasn't really true. Sometimes people actually stayed behind me the whole time. Nobody seemed to follow the speed limit, by the way. I only followed the speed limit my first day, but from then on I went as fast as I could, and cops even passed me, so I guess that was okay. You can see here there's a pretty good amount of vegetation, palm trees and various other kinds of trees, sort of jungly in a way, but always near the water, which of course I love that. The hardest thing for me to do, took me several days before I became comfortable with it, is make a left turn. And here I do it perfectly. It's a left turn and then you go up a hill, which shouldn't be much of an obstacle, but it was actually very scary. I learned that you don't turn, you just bank, right? So banking a right turn is very peculiar when you're on the left side of the street. But that's okay, I mastered it, and I'm proud of that. Over on the left is a store that I went into. I ended up buying 6 bottles of water and 6 bottles of Coke Zero while I was in the Bahamas. Very, very nice and friendly in there. There's a restaurant there on the left. Let's see, I think there's a playing field on the right, which is usually full of kids, but no one seems to be there at the moment. I'm now going to be taking a left turn into the main kind of downtown area, heading towards the gas station. See, that car followed me the whole time. I didn't even know he was there. You're going to see me drive in between some cones, which was actually blocking off the driveway into the gas station. I had no idea what else to do because I needed gas, but they were getting their own gas. A tanker was in there filling it up, and they were blocking cars from going in. Of course, the scooter could just go right on in. But the guy filling up was kind of angry at me for doing that and kept giving me a sign language to turn my engine off. I didn't understand what he was saying. I was kind of dense. It took me a while to realize, oh, he was worried about electrical spark causing an explosion or whatever. So I wised up and moved out of the way and waited until he finished filling the main tanks of the gas station. In fact, a whole line of people ended up being there, so I wasn't the only one. Here I am slowing down. And sneaking through those cones. Here I am, wising up, backing up, finding a nice safe place to sit and wait. There's the tank truck filling up the gasoline's tanks. Okay, I'm ready to go again. I now have gas. That guy there's the one that filled me up, and he filled me up even whilst eating. I think it cost me $4, but I didn't really get a full tank. Very, very cheap to use the scooter, by the way. You go forever on a tank of gas. See, Mack trucks. It always surprised me to see such huge trucks there on a small island, but of course size makes no difference as far as the land. It has to do with what you're carrying. Okay, I did a bunch of errands. Now I got some postcards and souvenirs. Those pink buildings behind me, that's the government complex. There's like a magistrate and a court and I don't know, some kind of administrators. Also the post office is in there, where I went in later to get stamps and mail the postcards that I bought today. While in town, I also checked out what they call the government dock, which is where the taxi boat leaves to take you across the bay to Stocking Island, which I'm going to be doing later in my trip. So I wanted to know where that was and found that. There's a restaurant on the right. And there's a hotel on the left. Not my hotel, but a hotel. Apparently, they're supposed to honk when they pass you to kind of warn you that they're doing that. But the only time they ever did that was in this Georgetown area. In the outer areas of the islands in both directions, they never did honk. Actually, I liked it better when they didn't. You know, after driving for 50 years, honking is always a rude or sort of nasty thing, and it was always kind of a shock when somebody did honk at me, since I didn't even know they were there. And I guess that's why they warn you. But, you know, you're going along peacefully enjoying your trip, and all of a sudden someone's honking at you. And it's even worse when a truck does it. You know, have a Mack truck honk at you. It's pretty scary in a way. So like I say, I just kind of liked it better when they ignored that rule. And they would just sort of peacefully, gently slip by me in a way that's almost very respectful. Whereas the honking could never seem respectful, even though I understood that it was meant to be. The people are almost always remarkably friendly and helpful. I want to say that right up front. I think one of the best things about being here was how wonderful the people were. That pink wall surrounds a hospital that I think is still being built. I couldn't really tell. It didn't seem like it was open for business yet. You can't see the building, unfortunately. You just see the wall, although it's a beautiful building, and it's kind of an architecture that matches the colonial sort of British style like their government building was. And pink is a very popular color to use. It seems like the bigger the building, the more pink they use. Or more often will they use pink as their color. There's a sewage treatment plant there on the right, and then, also a power plant next to it. We're entering an area where there's a strip of hotels, of which the one I'm in is one that's all along the ocean. And here I am slowing down because we're getting to my hotel, which is called Augusta Bay. And that was my trip to Georgetown and back, which I ended up doing several times, by the way, while I was there.